Hey everybody! It's the maybe it's Thursday show. Maybe we'll be on Thursday. Maybe if we feel like it, we'll do a show on Thursday.
It's whenever the hell Nelson feels like it, Joe.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. There you go. It's it's the Mardox live chat. We won't say daily, weekly, monthly, or anything. And we're on at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Be here, be square. We have Fabi and we have Josh. How you guys doing?
Get in
Good.
there.
I'm still eating.
How are you doing, Nelson?
I'm
Eating.
dead tired. It's
Wow.
it's up at 5 a.m. and go nonstop.
What do you do that for?
To make money, to pay the bills, to make sure the server's online, to make sure that people who have hosting with us have a server to host on. Fabi, do you have a website yet with us?
I don't believe that I do. I have to look into that. We need to visit some more. Yeah, there was a couple other things. I've been trying to get the Mardox banner on some of our other websites, but the editor that we have, I think, is a little older. So we have to adjust your banner code.
Oh, so you're blaming it on me.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't want to go out and get an upgraded, website platform.
I'm giving half my food to my dogs.
Is that a burrito?
A wrap. My wife made chicken salad, and here's a little one, by the way. Here's the Kanish, who does not like staying with me. Loves Tiffany, but does not like me. What? Do I have food? God, leave me alone. Go away. Go away. Shoo. Go, Merlin. Hi, Merlin. There we go. Got Merlin down here. Yes, I've been really busy with pool repairs. To the point of they hired an idiot to try to compensate for the amount of workload that they have right now, and this guy came in, did one pool repair, and the next day, this is just yesterday, he was told never to come back. It was very brutal. I was in the office. I was coming around. I was just having my papers. I just wanted to come in and check my mailbox, and I heard, "Don't come back," and not getting involved in that one. And what happened was, he did the pool repair. He changed the liner. And the liner's $800. We got a vinyl liner, the one that holds the water. That's like $800. And he did it, but he didn't know how to gauge. From what I think, he didn't know how to gauge the way the liner goes into the pool. Because I'll do a video one day with the camera in the pool, and you guys can see what I'm doing. But there's a pattern, an upward motif, and I got to follow certain color bricks at certain locations to know that the liner's straight. So the brick design, in this case today's, was the stone design, like pebbles. Hello, John. Shut up. Let me finish talking. And so anyways, what he did was, I think he misjudged the distance of the liner on the wall. So he had too much liner left over. So instead of leaving folds in the bottom, he got all the pleats out of the bottom and all the excess material up into the wall area, and he had a horizontal fold in the wall.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the boss is talking to the client. I think he's going to have me go back and change out just the liner, because he knows I can do those liners so good. I hate them. They're giving the hanging liners. There's two types of liners, okay? There's a liner that's over large, it's called an overlap, and you have to overlap the material and over the wall, and then you put a trim on that holds the liner in place. And then there's the hanging liners, which the material, it literally is made with a hook in the fabric, and it hooks on the wall. You can't go anywhere else but the way it hooks on. They're giving all the hanging liners to the newbies, and they're giving me all the overlap ones, because they know that all the freaking jobs at Dogecoin, clients that have the overlaps, and I do, they're all 100% satisfied. They're like, "Oh, I love it." So they give it to a pro. John, you may now speak.
Hello, everyone.
Johnny,
Well,
Johnny,
Hi,
Johnny, we have to make a list of words not to say on the internet, don't we?
do we?
There's the N word, there's the L word, there's a P word, there's a LBGT word that you can't use. There is a C word now that we talked about the other day. I can't say it because we're on Twitch.
Okay.
Do you remember what we talked about the other day?
I'm not sure. No.
The guy on Twitch that got suspended for saying the word that's inside the word raccoon.
Yeah.
So this guy was playing a game on Twitch, and he saw another character that had a costume on, and in the game, and it looked like a raccoon. The mask, everything, and it was a white guy character, had white skin, the whole thing. And this guy running after him said, "Where did this bleep go?" And it was the end part of the word raccoon.
He used the abbreviation
of raccoon. And he got banned for being racist because calling the guy
an abbreviated raccoon.
Yeah, abbreviated raccoon. You get what I'm saying, Fabi?
Mm-hmm.
The end part of raccoon. Fabi, where you are, if someone calls you the end part of the word raccoon, if that is used, is that racist where you are?
It is.
It is.
She's in the U.S. Of course it's racist.
I've never heard it. And we've said that here, look at them there, go, they're on my property, they're digging up my property, And
if you're talking about the actual animal, that's different.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but still, the guy got banned for the word.
Yeah.
Not the act or anything, just the word.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about this? So somebody get banned for a month off of a platform like Twitch for saying?
I think there's a problem with freedom online in general, and as much as I disagree with a lot of things said online, at the same time I'm also a pro-freedom person.
Yeah. So
I'm kind of like, look, if I don't have to agree with them, but if we're gonna strip everybody's freedoms away, then we're not gonna have any freedom at all.
Well, what about? Did you guys hear about Delaney going up on stage singing a rap song of the rapper, singing with that rapper? And that rapper, in his lyrics, has the N-word. And I won't say it here, but the N-word is in there. And she's a white woman, and she's singing along, and she says the N-word. And the crowd went nuts, like negative nuts. Like booed her off the stage nuts. So what do you think? If the word is in the lyrics, should a white girl be allowed to say the N-word? Or is it like no, you're white, you just can't say that word no matter what? What do you think, John?
See, that's just the thing, and I don't use the word.
Well, I don't either.
Blacks think they have carte blanche to use the word, and so on and so forth. I find it unnecessary, and if they're going to put the word in lyrics, and they want people to sing their music, then it shouldn't. They can't complain about it when people of another color are singing their music and this word is in there. What are the people supposed? Oh, I'm not allowed to say this word because I'm not black. It doesn't work like that.
It's like me. I live in a French community, and today I was in the pool area, and the truck drivers came by with the water to fill the pool, and I said, oh my God, they put an English guy back in the pool again. I can't find how to get out. I made an English joke in the French community. There's tension there with English and French, but as soon as I did that, I opened the door to all the English jokes. So and I'm no longer allowed to get mad about it. Oh, damn English can't find a corner in a round pool. Stuff like that. So if I open the door, and I always do it because it just releases tensions. It's like, let's have fun, let's talk. I got nothing against being English in the French community. I'm proud of it. I know 2 languages. They only know 1. I can go anywhere in the world and get along with anybody I want. They can't. But what do you think about that, Fabi? Are there phrases and stuff in your culture that that the natives can say, but white man can't?
Yeah, there is. And just across the board, though, there are certain words and certain actions that I got to say that you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to say them, for example. So, like, even if I were up on stage, like, I could not rattle the N-word out of my mouth. You
would just skip it or bleep it or...
Yeah, I would skip it. I would probably maybe even skip the whole line and then pick it back up afterwards.
For myself, any music that has those kinds of words in it, I refuse to listen to. Even if it has a good beat. There's other good music to listen to. If it has the N-word in it, I'm just against it. I don't think anybody should. I don't think even a black person, a rapper or whatever, should have the right to even say that word. If it's a contraband word, it should be contraband across the board.
Yeah. And I got to say, I mean, I know that it is person by person, but I do got to say that there are some words and even actions too that I physically cannot do. I just can't. Like, you couldn't pay me enough money. I just, like, I'm not wired to even allow that to roll off my lips. You know?
Exactly. Can y'all hear me still?
Hello, Lauren. How are you? Can't hear us? Why are you here? I can't make compliments like I can't say compliments like how's a beautiful Lauren doing? You know?
Bye, sweetie.
I'm getting a lot of background noise, guys. Hold on a second here. I gotta relearn it.
It must be John.
You miss me?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm at McDonald's.
Yeah, we see that, and that's where I'm going next. As soon as I go get my ginormous, huge paycheck, and I hope it's ginormous and huge.
I'm not gonna be here long.
Well, I wouldn't be at McDonald's long either. I stuff my face and I get out. Otherwise, I want to eat more.
Ah.
Yeah.
You're starting on the pool stuff, huh?
Starting, we're right in the middle of it. I mean, seriously. Look at my tan.
Oh, gotta get tan, huh? Getting tan, huh?
I'm getting close to John there.
Oh.
I'm 1 degree away.
Who's tanner?
Hey guys, it is so hot in the middle of the pool. Okay, and I'm not kidding. And the first time I've ever seen this. We've got this foam mat that we have to put at the bottom of the you know, underneath on top of the sand under the liner, and there's this reflective coating, you know, for insulation around the wall of the pool. And I'm on the inside, and when I turned back and looked, you can see the black foam in areas, I'm not kidding you, melting. It was like 30 degrees hotter in that circle than it was for these.
Miss you all.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to get out of there. And it's like I'm being baked from every. You know what those people that sit there with those aluminum reflectors there, you know, to suntan. I'm surrounded by this. Johnny, what's wrong with your camera, man?
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea.
You're all shades of colors today, John.
Yeah.
Did you want to log out and come back in? Maybe you know.
I'll try that. Yeah.
It's a pretty cool special effect.
Yeah. I'll try that. I'll be back.
Yeah, there you go. Lauren, if you want to speak, you have to unmute. There's too much background noise from everyone around you. You can still hear us, all right? Yes. Cool. So we're talking about the N-words and words in general that are being said in songs, and the fact that white people are not allowed to say the words even though they're being said in the lyrics. So what do you think about that? If you have a song that has a word that only black people can say, should you be allowed to say it because it's in the song or not?
Well, if anybody's allowed to say it, everybody should be.
Cool. Going back, a lady went up on stage with a famous rapper. They were singing the song, and she sang the lyrics of the song with the rapper live. And when it came to the N-word, she said the N-word instead of skipping it. And the crowd booed her off the stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think she should have been allowed to. But then Fabi and I are like, you know, I don't listen to music that has those that foul language and those kind of.
Nelson, that's the same as the black tennis player that's becoming #1. She's female, but she's got so much racism sent to her that her name never comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, she's top player in tennis for Canada right now. Hi, Fabi.
Oh, for a minute, I thought you were talking about Serena Williams, which is like the top tennis player in the world.
Who?
Serena Williams is the top one in the world.
You never heard? Yeah, you never heard of her?
No.
I know John has.
Heard of Serena Williams?
Oh my God, dude! Y'all are like blind if you haven't heard of her in the tennis world.
I don't watch the news.
I didn't get the name. Sorry.
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams.
Oh, Serena Williams. She's the perfect.
Yeah, she's
tennis
one
player.
of the top players in the world.
Where's my coffee?
Yeah, but John, I did say, Josh, I did say Canada.
Yeah, he did say Canada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
but I didn't know
John.
y'all even had tennis over there.
Yeah. Y'all play tennis in Canada?
We left our bows and arrows a long time ago.
I was thinking y'all were just. I mean, tennis does not include playing with snowballs. You know that, right?
Well, we have a sport for that too.
Hey, Bobby, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because this was like a topic like years ago. I don't know if it still is, but the football team, the Redskins, Washington Redskins, is that in your community? Is that a negative? Is that like offensive? The name?
Yeah, in like where I am in the Dakotas, teams don't even go with those names. You won't even find teams because it's too close to the culture. But then when you get further away from different tribes, you'll see more schools and colleges and pro teams with those names. But there's also a lot that have changed the name to something else because it's become a controversial topic in the United States. But a lot of the teams that choose to change their name, it's more so they just rather not be associated with controversy.
But weren't the Washington Redskins, weren't they named that in order to honor the Native community?
And there is that argument that it should be considered like an honor, but it really just isn't. I mean, like, I mean, what if we said like the white skins?
Yeah.
So
it's kind of derived.
It would have been better. It would have been better to have a team called the Lakota Diamonds or something like that. So it's specifically that culture as opposed to Redskins, which goes back to the color of the skin, something back from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, but way back then, I don't think it had nothing to do with culture. It's a name that they came up with, and it's been around for decades.
But you have to wonder. You have to wonder why did they come up with the term? You see.
I don't know the background of that one.
Well, apparently it was to honor the Native community.
There is the argument that it is to honor, but to be honest, it's kind of awkward. It's just an awkward position, to be in. So, here's what I question. Well, first of all, we don't really have any teams, like White Skins or the Money Grubbers. I don't know. Just to throw it out there.
McDonald's after the show. You guys want to come too?
Actually, we do have one for the money grubbers. It's called politicians. They're congressmen, representatives, presidents. We got all of them.
The truck driver.
We do have terms for those people.
The truck driver today was saying that the only thing he could do since he was 19 was drive trucks. And he goes, I guess I could become a politician. It's kind of the same thing. Good grief.
No,
Nelson, I told him not to do that because he's useful as a truck driver delivering water.
Well, yeah, he's a nice guy.
But then he should stay away from politics.
Stay away from pools.
Yes.
He should stay away from pools.
Tomorrow would be a good day to stay away because we got a high of 27, feel like 30.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a hot day. Can we do the pool repair faster than today, please, tomorrow? Because I'm gonna be stuck in there with the plus 30. It's gonna be like plus 40 for me.
Man, it's supposed to be thunderstorming out here tomorrow, but Saturday and Sunday is supposed to be in the 90s.
Oh, everybody, let's go to Josh's place. I know where he lives now.
USA.
He lives in a trailer park. He really does. He really does live in a trailer park. The other day, John.
I live in a. I don't live in a trailer though. I live in a house.
Yeah. But it is a trailer park.
It is.
The other day, John,
I run the trailer park. That's why though.
The other day, John, Josh, and myself were on a private chat, and we were looking at Google Maps to see what each other's houses or addresses look like.
Yeah,
Google Earth.
That was interesting.
You can't go Street View in Germany.
Nope.
Paranoid.
They don't allow it. They do.
And then when he looked at my area, he's like, "Holy crap! You really are on the edge of civilization."
It's a trailer home. It's a trailer park, and then you got a highway, and then there's nothing.
Yeah, it's just woods after that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much. It's all woods.
Hello, Merlin.
That's pretty much true.
Do you have anything to say to the show, Merlin? Do you have anything to say? No? Everything's so rough,
but
huh?
Go back to the Redskins. Are they going to change that name, or because that's been in the news for quite a while now?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. I think they'll keep it. There was a lot of teams that changed it. There was an era.
Atlanta Braves was another one that they've had controversy with.
Yeah, and sometimes it's with the mascot, like how the mascot is portrayed. too, also ends up being controversial. But the teams that still hold their name, they probably will never change. There's an underlying reason that they'll just keep it.
In your community, if you had to choose a mascot, Fabi, what would you choose to represent a team?
That's a great question. I got to think about that. I'll let someone else go.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Sherbrooke. Let's see, Sherbrooke. Sherbrooke losers? No.
No, but Fabi, you want a mascot? Get a buck.
Oh! Here's a great name for a football team. The French Canadian idiots. I'm gonna get shot by all French Canadians.
I'm gonna think on that one. I'll come up with something.
You see, hold on now. Nobody here can say that other than me because I'm French Canadian. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm on my dad too. You Americans in Germany, you just keep your mouth shut there. Be careful.
What would you pick, John?
I have no idea. That's a good question.
A muskrat.
Especially since I'm here in Germany, so.
Does Germany have a football
team?
It
would depend on what the team is,
what
it is, and everything else.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Does Germany have a football team?
They do, but we don't. Oh, actually, we do, but
I mean, their
football is soccer. Remember?
Yeah. No, I mean football. I mean a pigskin that's oval that you throw.
They do play American football over here now, and I know nothing about the league. Hey, there are different franchises.
That's getting racist now. American football. What's so good about your football? Is ours worse?
No, because Europeans, football is soccer.
Yeah, I know.
Let's just be honest. There is certain stereotypes here.
Yeah.
American football. Half of our freaking hockey teams are staffed with Canadians.
Well,
let's be honest.
Yeah, but the best.
The NHL is like half American and half Canadian.
Yeah, but the best hockey players. The best hockey players in the world are Canadian.
See,
if you get a hockey team from Jamaica. You got problems.
They got a bobsled team.
Yeah.
It's all Cool Runnings, right?
Well, you would know.
Really?
Yeah, so in the weather, on other news.
I just have to do a shout out to the Golden Knights because they made it to the Stanley Cup. That's the Las Vegas hockey team.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I just moved out of Chicago. We won it like 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years.
Yeah, but you guys held the judges at gunpoint.
Probably.
Yeah, is that we're gonna win, right?
Well, half our team was Canadian, so.
I went to one hockey game. Go ahead, Fabi.
It's the NHL Stanley Cup. That's the finals for the NHL.
Canadian team's dead long time ago.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question. What big tournament is set to start here in a few weeks?
Where? Here?
In the world.
Well, the Grey Cup.
The standoff of the GDPR regulations.
I just gave it up. Good guess, Josh, but no.
It would be the Stanley Cup.
That's one big one.
Yeah.
What's another one?
The football teams are in the fall. I wouldn't know.
Any more guesses?
Isn't the World Cup coming up?
Yes.
The World Cup. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Germany's in.
Yeah.
Germany's in.
Are we in there?
That's a soccer thing. For those Canadians, that's a soccer thing.
I'm just a poor German boy. I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't follow soccer, so Hey,
wait, that's a white thing. You can't be doing that. Hey.
Actually, if you look at who wins the tournament, it's more of a Latin American thing.
Yeah, he's got a point. See ya, Lauren.
They
tend to win more than we do.
We got to talk more often, Lauren.
Yeah.
And see you next Thursday, Lauren. We'll be here Thursday. Honestly, we will. I'm trying so hard to get here on Thursdays.
It's like when you say martial arts, you don't think of somebody like me, in there. You think
I don't want it. Wouldn't that be sumo arts?
No, I've never been in sumo.
Oh. You should check it out. It's pretty big.
So first.
Oh wow! It's heavy. Okay, let's go on to something else. I'm gonna find so many puns. What were you saying about martial arts, there, Josh?
As the saying, we were talking about stereotypical sports. There you go.
Yeah.
Most people assume Asian.
Fabi is doing judo.
Qigong.
Chudong.
Qigong.
Oh, qigong. Okay.
It's energy healing.
Yeah. No, I thought. Okay. Yeah. I did.
See, if you were a Buddhist, you'd already know that.
Dude, I did. I know. Josh, I know Tai Chi.
I took Taekwondo, Hapkido.
I studied Tai Chi for 2 years.
What about sushi?
Sushi? No, sushi. No
And of
sushi.
course, being Buddhist, I've also studied, aromatherapy and qigong and the acupuncture and a few other things.
I pay a $5 get whole buffet long time. Racist.
Okay, so Nelson,
Yes.
if Josh put out a bet for next week for what time the show is going to be next Thursday, and you you made a bet, do you think you would win?
Oh yeah, I'd go opposite of what he's going.
No, he lets you bet what time the show is going to be next Thursday. And so if you enter a bet,
Oh.
you would still win the bet.
Oh, so
We're talking about the maybe Thursday movie.
Oh wow.
We're determining whether or not it's going to be there or not.
Guys, well, it's not fair if I do it because I can rig it. That's not fair. But you guys can.
No, that's the point. We're giving you the opportunity to rig it. Will you still?
I'll be here at 3 sharp. What I'm planning to do, and I gotta say.
Oh, you mean like today at 3 sharp?
Yeah.
It's Canadian time.
What I'm planning to do, what I need to do is I need to get Tiffany on board with what we're doing, so she can come down, get OBS and Zoom set up, so you guys can come in, even if I'm not here. And then Fabi was saying that she'd volunteer to show up at 3 o'clock. Am I right with that, Fabi?
Yes.
Yeah. So then we'd have the control room person here, and then even if I show up late, the show can still go on. You see, I think that'd be a better deal because it's just temporary. But I would like to get Tiffany more involved in what we're doing. I think I think she'd like it. I hope so. Anyways. I don't know.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, I think so. And she doesn't have to be on the show talking if she doesn't want to, but just know that the Zoom is open, the OBS is open, and everybody's doing their thing, and then you can. What we'll probably do is have it set up so Fabi, you'll be the moderator. And if somebody does show up like John, and F this and S that and N this, you can just go keep him in. But if he says the C word, gone. Can't say them. Can't say them. They're C words.
No abbreviated raccoons.
Yeah, no abbreviated raccoons. That's it. That's it.
Is Trish still doing the book thing?
Tiff.
Sorry. Is she still doing the book thing?
She's practically your niece, bro.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I want to call it. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Do you know what your other niece is called?
Thank you. What?
Do you know the names of your other nieces?
Which other nieces? No. No.
What's the one I work with all the time?
Jackie.
Yeah. Okay. Who's the nurse? He doesn't know.
The nurse.
Sandra.
His daughter.
Sandra.
Okay.
Yeah. And who's the oldest that you never ever met or see or never talk about?
Oh, that would be easy.
That's Kelly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You gotta learn these things, bro. I mean, if we're gonna be brothers,
Hey, they have a very, very forgetful uncle. You see.
Yeah, but be careful with that A thing. Okay, that's straight up the Fonz. Be careful there. I mean, let's get this right, John. Yeah, A. That's Fonz. Okay, that's for white guys. It's called cool white guys. But you can go hey. You can do that if you want. That's acceptable. You say, I shouldn't even be doing that. I get in trouble doing that.
Okay.
Bobby, are there any Native American cartoons that you saw when you were a kid, other than Bugs Bunny and stuff? Is there anything that were really Native American?
No, truthfully not, and there still really isn't.
There's not.
And that's interesting that you say that. I hope to see some. I hope we see some come about nowadays.
Because
Well, because I'll explain what's happening is that traditionally Native communities have been disconnected from the rest of society and also suppressed in many ways.
right.
But then now that we have iPhones, internet, it's really empowering the Native communities. And so I think that we'll probably start seeing people make more contributions like that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I
Because
think
go ahead.
I think if the young Native Americans, take a page out of the book for the African Americans and stuff, as far as comic book characters and stuff like that, because now it has gotten to the level of Black Panther, you see,
Yeah.
and that was a long time coming, but it had a genesis, you see, and that should be, I think it's a matter of getting the young people inspired, because I'm sure there must be lots of talented young people, and to get them even to thinking in that direction, get them to realize, first of all, that they can do it. You see, they're not excluded
That's
because
right.
they're Native American.
And what about
Society is
what
trying
about-
to get them to think.
Yeah, what about
Mhm.
YouTube?
Good
I mean,
idea.
you don't need to go Hollywood quality, but what about YouTube? Platforms like that get the community start making
Yeah.
content out there.
That's a great idea. I'll do that. I'm going to encourage it with
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that
And if they want to participate, tell them to come on in and talk with us, because I would love to see and promote some native community content, and not just North American.
Or write to like Marvel and DC and stuff like that, and suggest that they start featuring or introducing more Native American characters. And
Oh yeah,
stuff
we
like
gotta be
that.
careful there, because I mean you could come up with Tommy Tomahawk.
No, but I think that what John just said, Marvel,
Yeah.
or is it DC? I'm not quite sure which one it is, but they are starting something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
read that on the news there about a month ago.
But
Okay.
they,
It's probably Marvel.
Nothing else since.
they gotta be careful.
It's probably Marvel.
They gotta be very careful, because look at the movie Mulan. So many people
Yeah.
rose up in arms saying you're portraying the people of Hawaii and their culture as a joke. And it was nothing of the sort. It was just a character that happened to be from Hawaii. It was I don't know the whole storyline, but it was based around Hawaii, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I saw a part of it. I thought it looked nice, but a lot of people got upset because Mulan.
I didn't realize that. Really?
Yeah, they got really upset about it. So
Oh,
now they got to be careful now. If you native content, they got to be really careful what they put out, because you're gonna have the native community saying, "Hey, we don't like that. You're portraying us wrong." I guess there's always two sides to each coin.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think being able to create something that is portrayed by the ethnic group itself is powerful, and that's what we are lacking. We don't have that yet. So like the best we have is Walt Disney made the movie Pocahontas,
mhm.
or Kevin Costner made Dances with Wolves, but they're still portrayed from a non-native angle.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so we need that's what we need is we need more of that portrayal from the inside.
Native content for natives.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then if
that's a great idea. It's brilliant.
No, but not just for natives, for everybody.
well for everybody,
But you're sure, but it should come from natives.
because
Yeah, from natives, but for everybody, not just for natives.
Yeah, so it's like it'd be written through the native perspective. It'd be written by native
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Even the characters would be designed through the native eyes.
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Michael Kustra says there are Native American comic books artists.
Yeah, there are a lot of like storybooks out there, but we don't have anything animated. Like nothing, no animated series or animated movie, or even a real person movie or animation. But there definitely are books. I mean, I might even have one
Right.
in the room here. I could I think I do.
What, that's your showstopper?
Here we go.
There we go. Okay, she's back. Okay, show continues.
You guys. Okay. Let's see. Does it show up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Flight.
Yeah. It's so it's like a Lakota story.
Okay.
You know, and then it's
Okay.
illustrated and stuff.
Done really
But
nice.
so we have
Done really nice.
a lot of these books that have been out there for a long time. I could even show you some really old ones I've seen, like coloring books and stuff. But that's about the best we have. So we're.
But are they written by natives?
Pardon?
They're written by natives?
Yes. Like
Okay.
this one, for instance, he's world famous. He's a hoop dancer and also a flute maker and plays the flute too.
Oh wow.
Okay,
His
well,
name is- He's a friend. He's a friend of ours.
Oh,
His
cool.
name is Kevin Locke.
Okay, now we got to go to Amazon and buy that book. Everybody, go to Amazon and buy that book.
And I believe he has a series of books too. So there's others out there.
And then
But I guess what we're really trying to get into though is finding more producers. You know, people that are willing to produce content, animated content, video content,
that's gonna be a
and
big
that
challenge.
will happen.
That's gonna be a big challenge. I got 4 or 5 people right now willing to make content for my website, our website, Mardox, and that's just general content. Finding some people out there to do Native American content, that's gonna be that's a really tight niche.
It's going to be interesting. But I think as more natives are growing up with iPhones and, you know, all the new technology we have nowadays, I suspect and I sense that we will see more of this in the near future.
Do you think that the media is going more towards video, recording, upload to YouTube? There I got content. Or is there still a lot of content being made as books, as stories, as comic books?
That's a good question. I mean, there is a lot going more to digital, but then I think people are also seeing the value of when you can hold something in your hand,
Yeah.
you know, the tangible piece too.
I wonder that sometimes with the young folks these days. I hope so. You know,
True.
I really.
Tiffany reads books. She reads a new book every week. You know, so it's
That's a good thing.
yeah, she's big on that. She
I have to say, my youngest, she's an avid reader as well, like her mom. You know, but yeah,
Cool.
I don't see it often. You know, I really don't see it often.
yeah. But a lot of people are just going towards, oh, I'm going to watch my phone while I'm on the bus, you know, instead of taking a book and actually reading a book, you know.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Do you remember going into like magazine shops, comic book stores?
yeah.
I used to do
Hope
it.
you didn't get in trouble for looking at it too long. And,
I used to. Oh yeah, but John, it's the type of magazine. You didn't say I was doing.
do we always have to like go at this slant?
I was talking automotive, dude. What are you talking about? I used to go in and get A+ for Apple Computer, the A+ magazine, and I loved it because it had code snippets on programs that you could type in, and back in the day it was stupid, but if you could put your entire program in BASIC on one line, like line 10, and your whole thing wrote out as one long piece of code, and the whole program was one single basic line of code. There was competitions who could make the best programs with only that one little block of available space, and some people came up with some really neat ideas, on how to do certain things. There was a guy that made a chess program that was only 3 basic lines long.
No, really?
Yeah. It's an entire chess program, but I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's like a page and a half long of code, but it's 3 lines. So it's the world's smallest chess program.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's still out there. Anybody can still get it. It doesn't do very much for kicking your butt. I mean, it's simple. Once you figure out how to beat it, you can.
Are you reading any good books right now?
What are books? Michael, are you able to get a show?
Yeah.
What about you, John? Read any good books right now?
Who, me? No, as a matter of fact, no. I've been talking with my students about that. Because I encourage them, to read, so to practice their English and stuff. And I was mentioning that that's something that I got away from doing, because now I read more to process information and to prepare for my classes and blah, blah, blah. but I rarely take the time to read for pleasure. Every now and then, I get this urge to read a book that I like that I read when I was younger. Like there's a book, Silver Chief, Wolf
Yeah,
Dog of
yeah.
the North, right? And I've read that book three or four times in my whole life, you know. And every night I've got it. It's in the hallway here, and you know, and sometimes I'm gonna read that again, but it happens too seldom now.
Yeah.
And I say,
To your students, have you thought about reading a specific book with them? I know a good one. It's got chapters and passages in it you can read.
uh-huh.
You might know it. Here in North America, we call it the Book of Mormon.
Oh.
You got John going, you asshole. Dogecoin.
Oh.
And I thought I was going to hear something really deep and profound.
Yeah,
and
like the book, like the Book of Jehovah, right? No, this isn't that kind of show. Listen. If I have to bake inside of a pool, waiting to take the folds out of a liner because the vacuum hose wasn't connected, you get to have my crap. I have to pass it on somehow.
Yeah, you have to let it all out. Okay.
I baked it. I went around that circle twice, wondering why aren't the folds coming out yet? Look at the vacuum. The hose isn't even connected.
Now there's a German book that a student of mine gave me like years ago.
Yeah.
And because a young student when I was doing tutoring, and because he said, yeah, you know, you always telling me read. Now I got something for you to read. It's a book that he had to read in school.
Yeah.
And I started it a couple of times, but then I got away from it, and every time I go back to it, I have to start all over again.
Because you don't get around to finishing it.
I haven't. I don't even know if I've gotten to the second chapter yet.
Oh.
And yeah, because I just, you know, life takes over, and I just get away from it again.
Me, that feels like me with the Microsoft Bible.
Okay.
It really is called the Microsoft Bible.
Okay, I believe
It's
it.
this thick. I get to the first chapter and I'm like, I can't go continue. It's so technical. I wonder why. No,
I have another.
There's talking about Native Americans. There is a book called Copper Sunrise. You guys ever hear it?
No.
Oh, I had to read it in high school, and it bugs me because I've tried twice to read through it. I get to about the sixth chapter out of about 20, and then I don't go back to the book. It gets so depressing on how the white man treats the Inuit character in the book. And it just gets me down knowing that at some point in civilization, white man just treated the Inuit like crap, and probably still do, you know. And I can't get past the sixth chapter.
Okay.
You know.
That's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets into 4 and 5 letter words. He's stuck.
How now, brown cow?
That's fascinating because that shows, like, that conveys empathy. That you have empathy so deep that it's building a type of resistance that you can't continue on.
So you're saying I'm not psychotic? Okay.
We're saying that you have a heart, Nelson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere deep down, yeah.
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 Yeah, you got to kind of drill down to get to it.
Yeah,
but
it's cold, man. It's cold.
Jackhammer, you know.
That's it.
Oh,
Where's your wife, and does she remember your laptop?
Oh.
That sounds like a veiled threat or something.
No. It's more like a reminder of how far down you have to drill to get to my heart. And of course, Michael is still waiting for his laptop.
It is.
You're gonna wait a long time. Oh, Fabi. Yeah, t-shirts. I gotta talk to you again about t-shirts. Youngsters t-shirt sizes. Did I get an email back from you about that?
Yeah, I'll send another email because I looked at it. I think I sent you the wrong address.
Oh.
I'm glad you didn't send anything.
Because what, you thought I wasn't sending anything? Or now you got a P.O. box. By the way, if you ship anything using Vistaprint, they don't mail to P.O. boxes.
That's right. Yeah, so I have to give you a physical address.
That's
So I'll resend that.
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, do that,
With the
and
address.
I'll get those things sent off to you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, like today when I get back.
So sweet. Thank you, Nelson.
Yes, I gotta get those sent out. Oh! James Dawson's online. Hello, James. The code thing isn't working today, so sorry about that. I didn't get time to start the bot.
Yeah, I was wondering. I said hello, and it didn't say anything to me. So.
Well, it doesn't like
Yeah.
you. You were mean to it the other day. So what's going on with you guys? Anything to bring up in terms of topics? I mean, Fabi's stunning as usual, and my dad's old, and John, well.
John.
It's John.
How's Miss Ute?
She's doing okay. She's doing good. How you doing, babe?
Yo, hey, dude,
Good.
bro,
Good.
a little respect. Calling her babe in front of her boyfriend.
Go ahead, be jealous.
Yeah, I'm gonna be jealous. Yeah, I got Tina, so there. Nah. But how is she doing? Her health and all that, is it going good?
Yeah, she's doing pretty good. Dealing with the other things, but doing pretty good.
Yeah, good. Keeping active.
Could be more active, but yeah. Gotta get
your butt in the kitchen, woman, and make me some pot pie, right? Doorbells.
Yeah.
They're going to be around for another couple of years after I'm getting rid of them. My doorbells cost too much on food. Oh, jeez.
So has the little one gotten? He's pretty much it's a she, right?
Yeah.
Is she pretty much at home now?
Well, she the other day she had diarrhea, and there was an accident, and it's where she did it. She didn't try to hide it. She didn't make it to wherever she had to go. That or somebody didn't get around to open the door. You know, there's that body language thing when everyone's asleep. Like, as in, I don't listen to you when I'm sleeping. You gotta wake me up. But she's so tiny, I'm not used to it. So she did her mess, and then we put a newspaper down in the bathroom under the sink, and thought, okay, well, an off chance. So I didn't punish her, but it was like, what's that? And I brought her over to the newspaper and put it on the newspaper. I said, you do it there, and kind of like the way my dad potty trained me. You do it here, on that tree.
It took years.
And
Still not potty trained.
Now, funny enough, the other day, yesterday, the day before, I woke up. I hear, like, I better get up and go take care of her. I get up, I look around, there's no dog. Did I dream it? Go to the bathroom, close the door. I'm doing my business, and look down. Sure enough, big lump sitting right there on the toilet paper, on the newspaper. So she caught on super fast. I can't wake anybody up. I can go there and don't get in trouble. Number one. And the whimpering I was hearing would have been her just finishing and going back to bed and getting Tiffany's attention and bring her back up into the bed. So that's the whimpering I heard, was her getting, I want back up. But it went 1-2 instances, and she now understands, okay, I can use the toilet paper. I can use the newspaper. It's the same thing, people. It's toilet paper with printing on it.
Sweet.
Yeah, but that's incredible to do with a small, 1, and 2, an 8-year-old dog.
Yeah.
That's incredible that she caught on that quick. So she wants to please. She wants to fit in. Now I just got to be careful, because where Merlin's eating, she always wants to go by him as he's eating, and that can get dangerous. Whereas all she wants to do is just get by, doesn't want to touch his food, just wants to get by, and I'm worried that Merlin's going to snap. And she's big enough to become a morsel for him. I don't know if he does anything mean, but he might misunderstand. You just want to walk by, but this is my food, I'm eating, leave me alone. But it's always right when he's eating, she has to get by him.
Yeah.
It's like
Nelson does that too when he's eating.
Yeah, it's like I went to Juvie, and I picked up something in Juvie, and I still to this day, now being 43, I was 19 years old, so 24 years ago now. and I still sometimes sit with my arm around the food as I eat. And we learned that in juvie because you don't come in this zone and touch my food. And
Wow.
and it's still to this day I still catch myself at restaurants. Yeah, so how you doing? Talking my arms, and I gotta remember, take my arm away and eat. I don't do it often, but I do see. I still catch myself doing it. You know, it's not a pleasant thing to see if someone's sitting their arm around their food.
What do you do if someone crosses that threshold? Do you like punch them right?
It's death.
Gotcha.
It's all out brawl, and then it's 3 days confinement, or in the hole, depending on how bad you messed up his face. I was lucky when I went in there. The first instance I had was one person tried to he basically dropped my sweatpants, and I instantly put in my headlock and as a football, and I ran for the brick the concrete wall with no intention of stopping. It caused the guy a huge scar across his forehead. But here's the thing: every time somebody new came along, the guy with the scar across his head would go, "Man, don't mess around with Nelson's fucking nuts." Literally those words. Don't go in there. And so nobody messed with me because he would show the scar across his forehead. I still got a scar here from a guy that got mad at me and used the floor hockey stick on my face. I still got the scar here across here. I got a scar on the back of my head. Oh, yeah, I had my instances. The one on the back of the head was someone else tried to take food from another person, and I was involved with the table going up in the air and coming back down on me without me knowing it. So I was an instant bystander in that one. But there's 3 stitches back here. Oh, geez. It's not a pleasant place to be. There are so many kids that would go through that place. I was very lucky to have my dad and my mom that would come and visit, at least, you know. It was a 2-hour drive to get there, but what was it, 2-hour drive there or an hour and a half? To get to Montreal, what, an hour and a half?
What are we talking about?
To get to Montreal when I was in Montreal.
It depends on everything.
About 2 hours. But they would come and visit every once in a while. But out of the 15 kids in our unit, I'm not kidding you, 12 of them had no families that came to visit. Nothing. You know, it's like these kids were basically, you're a troublemaker, screw you, go into the system and deal with your life. Now, these are 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds here. These are kids. You know, they don't have any family to back them up or anything. I was actually really lucky to have family to back us up. You know.
John, pay attention.
What? What?
Nothing.
No. Pay attention, John. When you go into juvie.
Okay.
John went to the military.
Yeah.
No, it was a bad thing that happened, but it was a good experience in my life to go through because it gave me a lot of structure that I have today. Versus if I didn't do it, I would be in prison today, or dead, one of the two. So I don't regret that part of my life. I don't talk much about it. Obviously, it's not pleasant to talk about juvie and stuff like that. But I don't regret it. I don't deny it. I don't say it never happened. It happened. It happened, and that is part of my life. And because of it, it's who I am today. You know.
The good thing is you talk about it though. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
John, did you ever go in a stockade? I think they call it. Or...
Did you ever?
You never had to.
Did you ever?
No.
Did you ever put anybody in the stockade?
Either.
Yeah.
Oh,
was that John?
I said I have not been in the stockades in the military either.
Yeah, but Josh, nobody was asking.
But I have put people in civilian ones.
Oh, civilian stockades. We call those prisons?
Yeah.
Jail.
Yeah, I used to be a correction officer, so of course I put people in.
And Fabi, what do you call it if you lock up somebody? I don't know what you'd call it.
Jail.
It's called incarceration.
A discipline session?
The Huskow?
I don't know.
No, but do you have your own methods or?
What do you mean? Like, I mean,
I think
like
he's
if I
talking
want my kid in their room because they're misbehaving, or?
I think he's talking about tribal courts.
Oh, okay. Like a cultural. You're asking.
Is there jail?
Sorry.
Is there jail?
Yeah, the tribes actually have totally different justice systems.
Yeah,
but do the tribes have jails?
Yeah, and you don't want to, if you're not a tribal member and you're on reservation land, you do not want to get stopped by public safety, by tribal police.
You don't?
Because I mean, they can take you away, they can lock you up, you can go through the tribal court system, and you're nearly at a disadvantage. I mean, you're at a huge disadvantage.
Really?
Because
Wow.
it's because
you're not in the culture.
the rules,
Is that fair?
the tribal rules that are implemented. What's that?
Is it fair, or you're saying
It is. It's completely fair, but it also goes off of the native culture. So what is considered okay in traditional society may not be considered okay in native culture.
So waterboarding is a thing.
So, for example, like if you're being super greedy and you're, arbitrarily hiking your prices up of, something that's not okay, like in tribal culture, for example, but it's considered the right thing to do in traditional society. You got to make more money, and make it at all cost, for example. So, I mean, that's just kind of a general difference in how the culture is different. But another example is a lot of tribal communities are dry, so you cannot have alcohol on the tribal lands.
Yeah.
And even the most innocent, even if you're like the most innocent person, you just happen to have a 6-pack in your trunk, let's say, that's around for taking you,
Okay,
Yeah, well, he's laughing, but he doesn't realize most tribal lands are alcohol free.
No,
They're mostly dry lands, so I don't know if he realizes that or not.
No. I know. I realize that, but I mean, there is alcohol on reservations here. There's
A lot of them here don't.
They don't have it. One user asking, what are you all talking about? Fabi, you want to tell people what we're talking about real quick? I mean,
we're talking about.
I mean, if you tune in and just listen for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you'll see what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You tell them.
So the question came up about detention centers, youth detention centers, and also adult detention centers, military ones, civilian ones, and now tribal detention centers, or the system, So what I was explaining on, though, is that if you're non-native and you do find yourself in a native community, you really want to be careful not to get pulled over for something, or not to get approached by tribal police, public safety, because there are certain things that do warrant you getting put into the tribal system that may not warrant you in the traditional non-native, in the just traditional society. There's things you can get away with, but things that you can't get away with on tribal lands.
Well,
and so,
the justice system must be still pretty equivalent to what we have going on here. I would think, you're allowed to eat, you're allowed to sleep, and you're kept warm, dry. Go over to India, and you don't want to wind up in jail in India. It is a death sentence for most people, even if it's just for a month or so.
What was the one with the young kid in one of the Asian countries where he snuck something out of a hotel room and was caught? Does that ring a bell? That was
North Korea?
Yeah, it was North Korea. He went to North Korea. It was a poster on the wall, and he was sentenced for 22 years. He's been released short of his term because of diplomatic reasons. Thank you, Mr. Trump. I think he's been returned back to the States, but he's gone through hell. Those prison systems are just terrible.
And that's an example of how something that seems so innocent you could probably get away with, like in your own community. You have to be careful when you're in someone else's community.
Okay, so when I go to see John in Germany, I'm not to take any posters off any walls. John, what's the prison system like in Germany? Not that I'm assuming you know what it's like or anything. Is it? Not making any assumptions here, bro.
I have no idea.
No, but are there any stories about being terrible in there, or is it really rough, or is it?
I haven't heard any stories about it come to think about it.
Because I know the Netherlands, I think, is the best prison system ever, to the point that people who get sentenced there for even I think your maximum is 11 years. There's no fences, there's no walls, there's no bars. They're put onto an island farming community. They're taught how to farm and feed and build and do how to survive as a community. And when it comes time for them to leave the community, a lot of them say, "No, I want to stay." because they built a life for themselves. You know, I think the 11-year sentence is for murder. I think, and what's I find is most awkward of the whole thing.
What I find interesting is Brazil's system. Their maximum sentence for murder is 30 years.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, but in the Netherlands,
maximum. You no death penalties, and the maximum you can go away for is 30 years. Which one of the reasons I find it interesting is if you've ever worked as a correction officer in prisons and you see these people, most of these people cause their crimes really young and when they're stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As they get older, they wise up and they realize, this is not. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I even remember talking to inmates all the time that were, especially the drug dealers and stuff. They'd be like, I'm the lucky one because I'm in here. All my friends that were on the street, they're all dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they got killed by gang violence.
That's right. Going back to the Netherlands, the most awkward thing in the world is once you're sentenced, you are expected to shake the hand of the family members, and they are to say, "I forgive you."
Wow. That's powerful.
That it's the act of I don't know if I can handle that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. It could be theft. It could be whatever. And with whatever sentence it is, you're to shake their hand of the family member responsible for that family, and they are to forgive you. It's to continue on the process of society, and it's like wow. No, you still gotta go do your sentence, but it's like, I guess it's a doorway. You open that door, now that's closed, and you move on. Life goes on. As opposed to here, you stole something from me. Now I want to take your life. You better get fried. Because you took a candy bar from a store. I don't know. I find people are going to jail for the stupidest things. A person got sentenced for 4 years because he stole a couple loaves of bread from a grocery store.
That's nothing. We have people here serving life because they stole pizza from a pizza place.
Well, that's what I mean. They stole food and they went to eat. They were probably starving.
Yeah, he got a life sentence.
Yeah, there you go.
Incredible. So let me ask you this.
It was because of the 3 strike laws where you do 3 felonies, automatic life.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And it would have normally never been a life sentence, and now it's a life sentence.
Yeah, but was he just too stupid to steal from the same store every time?
No, it was that his other crimes were more serious, but his third conviction was just happened to be that one.
That's it.
And because of the 3 strike laws a lot of states have here, he got sentenced to life for stealing a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
But see, a slice of pizza would have been a misdemeanor theft.
Not true. He got sentenced to life for having 3.
The problem is that when you grab pizza from somebody and pull away, it's considered aggravated theft, and now all of a sudden it's a felony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I knew someone who was buying groceries at the grocery store and paid for all their groceries except for one item, which they forgot to scan through the scanner, and they left the store with their shopping cart. Very respectable person too. And here they got taken for stealing and had to go through the whole court system, everything, for a little $2 sandwich.
Yeah. I did that once. I walked out of the store without paying when I was putting the stuff I was taking stuff out of the basket, and I realized I didn't pay, so I walked back in the store and went back in the line and said, "Oh, I forgot this," and they didn't say a word. They're like,
nice.
I
was being honest, and I went back and paid for it. But
I was at the bottom of the hill. I was at the bottom of the hill here. I was putting gas in my truck. I got a phone call. I answered it, talked to the person. It was a client. Finished pumping gas, put the pump on the thing, got in the truck. I said, "Okay, well, I'll be right over," and I drove off. And about 5 minutes later, the owner of the store calls me up and goes, "Now, do you want to come back and pay for your gas?" And it's only because I've lived here for 20 years that they did this.
Wow.
If that was anywhere else, they would have had the cops on my case right away. It's like, whoops. How do you explain that to the cops? Dude, whoops. No,
well, and that was a nice solution to just give you a call.
Yeah, that's it. Well, they know me. They know me. Well, I also helped fix her pool, so that wasn't. She had my phone number. Yeah, anybody else would have got the cops called on him. He was like, "Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes to pay for it." Whoops.
Oh, man. Let me ask you this, Nelson. Would you rather be a prisoner and know that you are one, or be a prisoner and not know that you are one?
Well, I'm already in the second category, being in the United States right now. So.
Well, yeah, that's tough to say. being a prisoner and know that I'm one, meaning that I did something wrong and I was incarcerated. You mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or whatever it is, whatever you feel.
But how would the second one apply?
So the second one applies is that you're a prisoner, but you don't know that you're one.
How would that work?
Well, I'll give a few examples. Josh, do you have an example?
Hmm?
An example of being a prisoner but not knowing that you're one.
Yeah,
living in
the United States, you can think about debt and student loan debt and taxation and all that.
But that's everywhere.
Yeah, but see, that's. I mean, we're all prisoners, like I said.
But here in Canada, I can't travel outside Canada unless I have a passport. So technically, I am a prisoner in my own country.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, we all are. See.
Or it's like you
and
grow
if you
up.
don't pay your taxes, you'll figure out who has freedom.
So what you're saying is, you're asking, is bliss better?
Yeah.
Correct. Is ignorance bliss?
Or yeah, would you rather know that you're one, or would you rather not know that you're one?
I'd rather not know. Tell you the truth, because now that I know I can't leave Canada, and I just want to leave Canada now.
That's interesting. Jehovah's Witness, who was in prison, he made the comment that because people talk and send their prayers to him and stuff like this and that and the other thing, and he made the comment that, well, he has it easier because he knows exactly what he has to deal with, and everything. And the brothers on the outside, it's like, you deal with all of this stuff coming at you all the time. You don't know what the next thing is going to be, when, where, and how, and so on and so forth. And it's a whole lot more involved. And I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah,
that's true. Kind of like us, when we work on a pool, we get there. Once we take that liner out, we're prisoners. We got to get it done. We can't leave. Well, we don't know what's under there. I want to know what's under there first.
Or go ahead, Danny.
If you were to get in trouble, could you get help in Germany from a U.S. consulate?
I guess if I requested it, probably, yeah. If you're in a situation where you don't really know German and don't know how to deal with the legal system and don't have any help, yeah, you could get help, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
Same question for Fabi. Are natives allowed to go across borders, or do you need passports as well?
In the United States, they're also considered American citizens. So there's like a dual citizenship. So there's a tribal citizenship and also the regular U.S. citizenship, which falls under the same guidelines as U.S.
So if you want to come to Canada, you need a passport.
Have to have the U.S. passport.
Correct. Okay.
Another situation of being a prisoner and not realizing it is when you grow up in a certain neighborhood, and especially like an inner city neighborhood or something like that.
Yeah.
And when you're in it, you're living, it's life, but if you're lucky enough to get out of it, move on to bigger and better things, and you realize that you were a prisoner, you see.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized that when I came into the Army, because after a bit, when I would go home, I would see the same people doing the same things. They were just older.
Yeah.
They were just older. It was pretty much, people not really going anywhere,
How many of the inner city friends in Cincinnati, John, that are still around, that you can say that that are still out there in that area, or is it?
I have no idea. I know my best friend. This is funny. My best friend, he's now a preacher. Another friend, that high school friend, a junior high and high school friend, and she's a sister. She's a witness. And I don't know of many others. I lost contact really quick.
The reason why I asked that is because they showed a lot of stuff about inner city, and we wind up assuming after a while that everybody's there is miserable, depressed, or in prison. And of course, let's face it, the images that we're seeing here, like what I'm seeing on TV, is that when we say inner city, everyone's black or Hispanic. And, kind of place where the cop walks down the street and everybody crosses the road on the other side. I can't believe it's that bad. I don't think.
It can't be.
Yeah, you can
be. Yeah.
be able to believe it. Yeah,
It can
Really?
be.
it can be. Yeah.
In some cases, it can be worse. It really depends on where you are.
Oh wow! And when you were growing up, how was it? Was it that bad, or was it
It
reasonable?
wasn't that bad, but you had this respect for the police because you knew that living in this skin, things were different.
Right.
And yeah, yeah, you just grow up knowing this, and you live cautiously as a result.
And I agree with John because I grew up predominantly in a black neighborhood, and so the school I went to, I was like only one of the few white kids in the class. And our schools had metal detectors. You had police dogs walking around, sniffing your bags and stuff. They'd pull you out of classrooms and literally have the dog walk through the classroom, and then they'd have the dogs walk around you outside just to see if there's any drugs and stuff. It's just the way it is in those environments.
Really?
Yeah, really. And
I've never had. If they showed up with a police dog at my school when I was a kid, it was either somebody was done something really bad, or they were there to show you what the police dog does.
Yeah, in our schools they had them on staff.
They had them on staff.
The police actually had people at the high school. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Full time, imagine.
So you actually had police officers. You call them school resource officers.
Yeah. How about you? How about you? Have you on reservation? What's the school system like? Is it really severe, or is it relaxed?
It's relaxed as far as security goes, but the environment in some of the schools can be pretty rough.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like I have family. Well, I didn't grow up on the reservation. That was one of the reasons why my parents chose to raise us off the reservation, because it can be pretty rough. And I do have some family members and other people that I knew that did grow up within the school system, and definitely the stuff they had to put up with. It's just amazing. It's amazing that any student even like doesn't drop out, I guess.
Right.
There's a lot that do, but the ones who go all the way through, that the sacrifice they had to make it all the way through.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that.
And there's the exception though, is there's a few schools, and usually they're connected like with the Catholic Church or
joy.
Some type of institution. Like there's a very famous school it's close to here where I am in South Dakota right now. It's called Red Cloud.
Right.
And they're very well known for having just a very organized system that is very empowering. And so a lot of those kids that go through the Red Cloud school, they'll go on to college and beyond.
And they got the motivation and want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas the other schools you're talking about, basically, once they get done, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rough environment, but they don't have the security though. Like if they were off the reservation, it would probably be a typical school that had metal detectors and everything.
Oh, really?
But they don't have it because they don't have the resources or the funding or, whatever.
Okay, it's a money issue. So there is a lot of not so good
There's
stuff
a lot of
there.
poverty.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, cool. I mean, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll just be quiet now.
Well, I'm still thinking about your mascot question.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to keep thinking about it, and I'm going to get back to you on it.
It better not be a wolf. Don't say wolf.
Okay. And I'm going to have to sign off for now.
Yeah, what time is it here?
Time to go.
Yeah, time to go. I got to get going too. It turns out that my day never ends. We will be back. We will. Don, tell people how we're going to be back tomorrow. Next Thursday, not tomorrow. Next Thursday.
We may or may not be back Thursday. No.
Yeah. The Mardots,
it will be.
The Mardots maybe chat.
It will be 3 o'clock, maybe, give or take a few hours.
Yeah.
So Nelson, it'll be 3 o'clock because we'll tell the customer sucks to be you. We got to go.
Yeah,
NOB, we're taking bets at what time it's going to be, and Nelson's going to also make his bet, and we're going to see if he's going to win the bet because we're really hoping that he wins the bet so that it'll be at 3 o'clock.
Which kid do I like the most?
Nelson, do we have to call your clients and let them know that you have an online show that you have to get to?
No. Today was a water truck, guys. I told them I need the water in an hour. Oh, I can't get it to you for at least 2 hours. Crap.
You just let us know.
It was hilarious. I got a Ford Ranger, not an F-150, a Ranger, and it's got a jump seat in back. I turned the jacket. I said, "Look, the other van can't get here in time. By the time it gets, it's gonna be an hour and a half from now. Do you want to move the tools out of the back behind the seat into the box area, the cargo area, and you'll use the jump seat?" And you saw Jackie's shoulders go.
That's so I can get a ride home.
She can just fit in. Oh Jesus, it's so tight. 3 people. The cargo area is full, and it's like, oh my God. Oh wow. We earn our pay. No, I got a vehicle that I bought. It's on transit. I thought I had till today. Turns out today was the no day after the 10-day transit before to go register it. Now I'm like, oh no, now I gotta go register it. I don't have time to go register it. Don't procrastinate, people. Don't procrastinate. John, what do you say at this time at this point in the show?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the Marnox Sometimes Thursday live. And yeah, come by again. Remember 3 important things. You're watching us via YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. You're watching us via Twitch. Subscribe. And that other thing.
No. Follow. No, and if you want to, subscribe.
Follow. See, it's been so long.
Yeah.
Follow. And subscribe.
According to the title, the last show we did was the 4th of May.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No wonder
people. How long is that in dog years?
Yeah, well, times 7.
Nelson, what's your bet for next week? When's the show going to be? What time?
3:02.
Actually,
so how is this going to work? If I lose, I got to do what? Keep it clean. Keep it clean. No cross-dress. No cross-dressing.
Oh. We'll come up with something. Everybody gets a free T-shirt. but if I say 3:02, then all I have to do is just make damn sure I'm there at 3:02. Or earlier. Okay, I'll end this show and I'll start it right away. It just goes on for a week.
Nelson, I got one last question for you.
What's that?
How many GDPR emails have you gotten since I told you about it?
Oh yeah, tons and tons.
It's like every day there's like 50 new emails.
Yeah. Privacy.
We're not GDPR compliant.
Yeah, our privacy policy has changed. Please review it to continue your service. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's one of the requirements.
Yeah. That's it. Email them. Okay, guys. John, anything else to say? We're here at 3 p.m. Thursdays, more or less.
Yeah. Join us at hopefully 3 p.m. next Thursday, and we'll see.
You know, I gotta change the lead-in and exit page of the channel because it says daily live chat. It should say maybe Thursday live chat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Hold on a second here. I gotta say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.